everyone, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a story time of when I was 17 and pregnant. My name's Hope, and if you think I'm talking softly, I'm sorry, but my daughter's asleep right beside me, so I'm going to try not to wake her up while I make this video. And I do have a little bit of a cold, so excuse the nasally voice, but we're going to get right into it. So yes, I was 17 and pregnant. I got pregnant my junior year of high school. I didn't think that I was pregnant, but we were getting ready to leave for a trip, so I thought I would check because I hadn't had a period in about 3 weeks. Like, I had missed it and it had been over 3 weeks. So I took one and left it downstairs. Went upstairs and started packing some stuff before we left. We were going to Tennessee. And then I was like, okay, I need to go back downstairs before anybody wakes up and sees it before I get to it, because nobody knew. So when I went downstairs, I like I said, I didn't think that I was, so I didn't really think about checking it. I just kind of like turned it over and looked at it, and it was very positive. So from that point, my boyfriend was living with us at the time. So I went upstairs. He was a year older, so he had, that was his senior year. I went upstairs and I woke him up and I was like, I'm pregnant, you know, like I'm crying. It's a whole mess. I was like, I'm pregnant. What are we gonna do? I'm pregnant. And he just kind of woke up and rolled over and was like, okay. And that's all he said, and went right back to sleep. So I'm like, I'm frantic at this point, and I'm waking him up, and I'm like, oh my god, like, wake up, I'm pregnant, like, hello, pregnant. And he was just like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, when are you gonna tell your mom? I was like, I'm going downstairs right now and I'm gonna tell her. I have to tell her right now, like, we're gonna go on this trip and I'm not gonna really be able to like ride rides obviously and stuff like that, so I was like, I have to go tell her right now. So I went downstairs. Mind you, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. My mom hasn't even woken up yet. So I went downstairs and went to her room. I was crying. I was so upset, and I was like, Mom. She was like, oh my god, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, I'm pregnant. She said, show me. So I went and got the test that I took and I showed her, and all she said was, well. She didn't say anything after that. Just well. And I was like, please say something. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm supposed to react to this. I don't know what's going on. She was like, well, it's, you know, it is what it is. You gotta grow up. You know, you're gonna have to get some stuff together because you have to finish school. And I was like, okay. So I just kind of took a breather and calmed myself down and waited for everybody to wake up. So we went on the trip that morning, and I told my sister and my brother, and I can tell you about their reactions too if you want to know, because that was quite a mess too. Just leave a comment down below and I can do a video on that, of how they took it, because they're both younger than me. I'm the oldest. The trip was fine. I didn't feel pregnant at all. I had no symptoms at that point. None. The week after we got back from the trip, I had the worst morning sickness ever. I had morning sickness up until I was like 6 months pregnant, which was crazy. And, you know, of course I felt nauseous all day pretty much, but I was really only sick in the morning. We didn't tell anyone other than our parents, me and Austin, my boyfriend. We didn't tell anyone other than our parents and like close family, because obviously being in high school, I knew that there was going to be a lot of talk about it, because nobody else in my class that I knew of was pregnant or had had a baby. So we waited, and we waited after 12 weeks, so I was 12 to 14 weeks before we told any of our friends. And all of our friends took it really well. They did, and they were very supportive, which I'm very thankful for. Um, and, people at school started hearing about it. And there were rumors, but I wasn't showing at that point. And then, of course, when I started showing, I got a lot more talk about me. And people said some really negative things, like, the worst things you can think of when you're pregnant. Me and Austin had been together for 3 years at that point. We started dating my freshman year. And we'd been friends since I was in 6th grade. So, we've known each other for a long time. And there wasn't any question as to, like, how am I going to do this by myself? How am I going to, provide for a baby by myself? Because he was very reliable and he was always there for me. And he took the news better than I did. So, which surprised me more than anything. But he was very helpful and stayed there with me and helped me. But, I mean, it was hard, especially in high school, because I was pregnant most of my junior year, part of my senior year, and then I had my baby a couple months into my senior year. On November 27th, I had my baby. Which was right at the end of Thanksgiving break, I think, or the beginning of it, something like that. Pretty sure it was the end of it though. And it was tough. It was so hard because, I had a rough labor. I can do a story on that too because I was in labor for a long time. It was the most painful, hardest experience of my life. But, you forget about it once you have your baby, which is perfect because I couldn't have asked for anything better than my child. But, after I had her, we have like a Cardinal Academy, which is like a secondary high school, and it's for like teenagers that like have health problems or have something come up in high school and it's harder for them to finish school, so they help you along the way with like night school or online school so that you can get done with your schooling and still graduate with a diploma, which was super helpful for me because when I was still at our regular high school, I was on maternity leave for 8 weeks because I had a C-section. And it's so hard to take care of a newborn by yourself, like especially when your partner is at work or they have to go do something or anything like that. And then as well as, trying to do homework, and they were sending me like pages and pages of homework a day. And I hardly got anything done. And I was so scared that I was going to fail my senior year because, when the baby's sleeping, I'm sleeping pretty much. I was exhausted all the time. I barely had time to get myself some food or make myself lunch or something. Like, didn't have a lot of time because, you're super tired. And I had complications after I had her with my C-section. So I was back and forth to the doctor for her and for me. So it took a lot of time for me to heal and a lot of time for me to be able to do things by myself. So doing homework, it was difficult because I'm worried about my health and my newborn baby getting everything she needs so that she's growing and eating as much as she needs to, as well as I was trying to breastfeed. So that takes up a lot of time, as most moms know, takes up a lot of your time. Because if you're not breastfeeding, you're pumping, vice versa. So I contacted this academy And at first, they didn't accept me into the academy because it was so late in the year. And they, like, talked to me and was, like, explaining why, which I understood, but I really didn't have an option. Like, if I wouldn't have gotten into the academy, I knew I was going to fail because I couldn't do the work that they were giving me because everything that I needed to complete the work was online, and I had some college classes in my senior year, so it was really hard for me to do, you know, 4 or 5 classes worth of work a day plus, whatever else homework wise they needed me to do. So we contacted the superintendent, and I let them know. I was like, look, I really need this. I understand that, you all are full right now, but if you could just squeeze me in or let me come in for a meeting, I need to figure something out because I know that if I don't get help with whatever work I need to finish, then I'm not going to be able to graduate this year. And that it was that simple. There was nothing else I could do. So they contacted me back and they were like, hey, come in for a meeting and we're going to sit down and talk to you about what we know, what we can do for you, and if we can get you in. I was like, okay, great. Thank goodness. So my mom came and helped me because, at that point I was still like struggling to walk. I was still in pain. I had a newborn, lots of stuff to get ready and everything. So my mom came and helped me and picked me up and took me to the school, which is right down from where I live. And we sat down in the Cardinal Academy and talked to them, and it was okay. It was fine. She sat down, the principal, she sat down with me and was like, I have really good news for you. And I was like, awesome. Like, I needed good news at that point because I felt like everything before that, something went wrong, which is so frustrating because, you're having a rough time anyways. So she told me that they were going to accept me into the academy, which is awesome. I was so excited just by that part. I was like, thank goodness, because I need help doing my schoolwork. And then she told me, but I have even better news. I was like, okay. She said, where you have already done so many hours with your college classes and taken so many extra classes like through high school, you have already completed our curriculum, like our classes that you need to graduate from here. So I didn't have to do any more schoolwork, which was awesome because when I did start feeling better and I was able to move more and recover better, I could work and not have to worry about schoolwork. So I was able to take care of my daughter during the day while her dad was at work. And then I was able to go to work at night and bring home some extra money to help out with diapers, wipes, formula, stuff like that, because I had stopped breastfeeding at that point. And formula is expensive. So I was super relieved, super excited, so grateful because that's all that I wanted, and I was so worried that I wasn't going to be able to get in and I wasn't going to be able to graduate. It was hard for me because that's what I wanted, to graduate with my class at the actual high school, but I mean, it is what it is. I had a baby in high school and I still graduated on time. So it worked out fine. I still went to all my other friends' graduation and got to see them graduate, and they came to mine and supported me, and it was wonderful. So I don't have anything bad to say about it. I did go to my senior prom. That was a little while after I had my baby, obviously. And that was fun, and it was an experience. But of course, being a mom, I did get judged for that as well, because people were looking at me like, why is she not home with her kid? And that was hard for me because, people don't understand. This was the first night that I didn't get to be with my baby. She stayed at my mom's house, and it was hard for me because I wanted to have fun and I wanted to experience my last prom with my friends, but at the same time, like the whole time, I was worried about my daughter's name's Ellie, so I was worried about Ellie. And I kept asking my mom for pictures, and she was like, just go have fun, like she's fine, she's asleep, don't worry about it. It was fun, and I loved being able to spend some time with my friends one last night before we graduated. So, it was okay. When you are in a situation like I was, it's difficult to ignore the backlash you get from people. Even if they're not saying negative things to you, they're saying negative things behind your back. And it's hurtful because, yes, I had a baby and I was 17. And I have no regrets about having my baby at all. She's the most perfect baby ever. I have no complaints about her at all. But you're always going to get something negative. Always. Which is okay, because you just have to learn to ignore that and think about what you're doing for yourself. You have to worry about what you need to do to better yourself, and especially if you're having a baby, you have to do what you need to do to prepare yourself and prepare your partner or your family, your home, and you do the best you can. We went to a birthing class before I had my baby, which I took child development in high school, so I knew a lot of the stuff that they said. But for my boyfriend, Austin, it was really funny because he had no idea about anything that goes on for childbirth. So it was funny. And it was, that was different as well because we were the youngest couple in there. There was one other girl that was in there, and she was a little bit older than me, probably Austin's age or a year older. But other than that, it was like 30 and 40-year-olds. I think there was one 20-year-old couple, but I would say that was about the age range. So, it was different, and we definitely got some looks, but when you're young like we are, and you have a big old pregnancy belly, it happens. And I hate to say you get used to it, but you learn to ignore it. You know what I mean? Which is, that's all you can do. I have no regrets about having my baby or getting pregnant. Like, I obviously wish that I was more careful, but I don't regret what happened, because just because I wasn't careful or my boyfriend wasn't careful doesn't mean that it's like my daughter's fault. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm trying to put that, but I'm sure you could get it. There's no easy way to explain it. The only thing that I regret is where I was so young and so scared because I didn't know what was going to happen or what was going on, is that I didn't enjoy my pregnancy as much as I wish I would have. Like, most people take pictures and stuff. We took maternity pictures, but that's about it. I probably have maternity pictures plus about 10 random pictures in there through my whole pregnancy. And I wish that I would have taken in the experience a lot more because, I really miss being pregnant. I miss being able to feel her kick and her move and, just have that little time with her while she was in my stomach. That's the only thing I regret, really. But I mean, you learn from everything, and I don't think anything bad came out of me becoming a mom so young. I mean, I obviously had to mature a lot faster than my friends, which gets hard because they don't think about a lot of the things that I think about. But I mean, we're all different and we all have different experiences. The only advice that I could give to a teenager in high school that, you know, does have a boyfriend or they are sexually active is to really be careful and pay attention, because I know a lot of my friends when I got pregnant said that, oh my gosh, they wanted a baby, they couldn't wait to have a baby, they were going to be so excited, they want a baby right now. And all I could say was like, no, wait. It's not for everyone. Having babies is not for everyone, especially so young. I think anyone can get through it, but I took it very hard when I found out I was pregnant. And it was a struggle for me for a long time because I didn't know how to be happy about it until, I just, started telling people and I got more support. Support is everything. So if you are in this situation and you do get pregnant and you're still in school or you're still a teenager, it'll be okay. You'll get through it. Find your support, whether it be a teacher or a sister, sibling, whatever, boyfriend, mom, cousin, it doesn't matter. But I don't think I would have gotten through things as good as I have without my mom and my siblings and my family and friends. So that's all I have to say about it. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, because I don't care to answer anything. But I enjoy talking about these things because I think it is important for people to know other people's stories. Everybody has a different story of how things in their life happened. And this was just mine. So